All right, so when it comes to conversion rate optimization, so you're driving traffic, this is what's always happening. You're getting traffic organically, people talking about you, referring you, yada yada, or you're paying for the traffic, which you should be doing both, okay? And you're driving them to what? Well, we want to take our traffic, paid and organic, and turn it into traffic that we own, so we don't have to keep relying on organic or paid. We can just simply email our people when they go into the list. So when we drive them to this page here, we have got to have a piece of bait that gets them excited and wanting to give us their email so that we can get them onto our email list. Once they're on our list, we can just email them as many times as we want. In between each of these emails, which should be videos, okay? Why in the hell would you talk to anybody any other way? Would you rather read something or just listen to somebody and watch them and body language, etc.? Or would you rather, I mean, there's no other thing to think about here. It's a video. Look, it's so simple to do this. I'm just using my phone. I'm recording myself using this so the audio's good. And I'm simply just explaining what it is that we're doing here. Each one of these emails, okay, they are videos. We just send them out to a page. So when they click on the email, they go to a page that looks something like this. Headline, video, where we're explaining what it is. I'm going to share with you some ideas on what to do in this video. And then we've got a button under here where they can go to this page, okay? Now these continue to be built. I just duplicate these, but here's what's beautiful. This has a pixel on it, which tells my paid stuff how to get smarter, okay? It also has different tags on it that tells my different emails here what's going on so that the email knows how to communicate the next time or where to put them. And these things right here, in between each of these emails here, okay, in order for me to communicate to them properly, I want to set up a time barrier. So in between this email and this email, what time am I going to wait till the next email goes out? I typically wait a day. Well, Mike, I'm emailing them too much. Aren't they going to unsubscribe? If they want to get mad about that and unsubscribe, were they ever going to buy anything from you to begin with? After that day, this then happens and it asks the question, did they buy or did they schedule a call? That's the question it's asking, because that's what I want to know. Did they do that? I'm either having them go buy something or I'm having them set up a scheduled call so I can find out if they're a good fit for what we offer and can we help them and blah, 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 right? If they didn't, if they didn't do one of these things right here, it'll say no and it'll send out the next email. What do I say in all these emails, Mike? Well, you've got a couple options. Okay, number one, okay, you could do this. You could blueprint out what it is that you offer. How do I do that, Mike? Well, do you sell a service? Okay, if you sell a service, what's going on with the service? If I come to you day one, okay, so I come to you and I'm sad and you're gonna take me and make me happy with your service, what are the steps you take me on to get me there? Okay, blueprint out those steps, and then this little scale here of you sending out videos and emails each day, you're going to share with me each one of those milestones that I go through so that I can understand the value. Okay, so let me explain something. If people aren't scheduling the call or they're not buying from you, here's why. They don't understand the value of what you're offering. It's very simple. If there was a table here, okay, this is my table, and on this table there was $1 million cash, and I had a guy come over and he said, yep, Mike will give you that $1 million cash, but you have to get him $25,000 in the next 6 hours. Could you do it? Would you get me $25,000 in the next 6 hours if you knew, if I notarized and signed off with the authorities that be, that I was going to give you $1 million cash for $25,000 cash? Could you do it? 100% you could. You'd go to 25 people, ask them for 1,000, 50 people, ask them for 500. You do whatever it takes. You tell them, listen, you give me 1,000 now, I'll bring you back 5,000 in less than 6 hours. I promise you, you'll notarize off, right? Why would you do that? Why would you go to that extent? There would not be a single person watching this that would not get resourceful enough to get me that money. Because why? Because you could see the pure contrast that if you give me this much, you're going to get this 1 million cash, right? So there's a contrast here of this to this. This is a lot lower to give to get this, and it's worth it. The value is undoubtedly clear, correct? Okay. If that's true, then the only thing that's holding people back from buying your stuff is not price. It's not anything other than they don't understand the value. So, what would you talk about in these emails? Well, as I said here in this particular example, if you have a service, if you have a product, if you have a productized service, if you have an e-com product, if you have a brick and mortar, okay? It doesn't matter. I've done this in 60 plus different industries with all types of products back when I had my agency. And every single one of them, all we ever did was we would take them and we would blueprint out the journey that they took people on to get them to their desired outcome, okay? So whatever that journey was, we would blueprint out or we would lay out each step, and that became each of these emails where we would demonstrate the value. And here's the best way to demonstrate value. Do exactly what I did down here with the 25,000 and 1 million example. Show the contrast. Apple and PC did this beautifully. Go onto YouTube right now, okay? Pause this if you need to. Go onto YouTube right now and go look up the Apple versus PC commercials back in the day. Here's what it looks like. They had, let me get this erased real quick. They had, in the commercial, okay, it's like this. They had over here, this guy, he had a cheesy suit on, brown suit. This was the PC, and then this was Mac, okay? And this guy over here, he was pretty hip, okay? He's a hip, cool guy, maybe got a necklace on, whatever, I don't know, whatever the hell. They would easily show the contrast of these two things versus each other. Here's the PC versus the Mac. It's very easy to see. Or in other words, here's the 1 million versus the 25K. As long as it's completely evident and just right in the face obvious that it's better to have one versus the other, then boom, the value gets to be very understood. So whatever it is that you're selling, what are the other options that they have in order to get the outcome? Why is your option better? Okay, that's what goes in each of these emails. It's not necessarily gonna matter what order you put that in as long as they get the point. And every single thing that you send out, please understand, these humans that we hang out with ourselves, they have little, principles at work saying that I'm not going to do crap, Mike, unless I have a reason to do it. Or in other words, you've got to have a reason for them to act right now. So you need to have scarcity, which is quantity, urgency, which is time. Why is the time running out? None of this stuff is bullcrap or fake or anything. Really figure out how many people can you actually serve right now? Well, I can only handle this many. There's your quantity number. We've only got this many spots available. We can only work with this many people. So you better get on it right now or else. Same goes with time. And it could be quantity of how many people you're going to allow have the bonus and why. Always give the reason why, okay? Nobody will believe crap unless you explain why, okay? It's kind of like that old video, or not video, but Robert Cialdini or whatever in the book Influence, he said that people, they would just walk up to people and they'd have a piece of paper and they're like, hey, can I skip up in line because I got to get copies of this? As long as there was a because, it instantly caused the people to be influenced by that idea. Okay, that's why we're doing this, because, okay, so scarcity and urgency, but everything that you send out in all of these needs to have a call to action. So whenever I think about each of these, I always think, okay, everything that I'm doing needs to have scarcity, urgency, and a strong call to action, and I've got to show value, which means I'm going to do a this versus that, this versus that, us versus them, old versus new, here versus there, up versus down. It's very clear to see. We've got to be able to see the value. That's why you said you would go to any extent to get that 25 grand if I was going to give you 1 million cash. It was evident the value. There was no questioning it, okay? So when you're doing these, here's some other things that you can do as far as what to send out in those emails, okay? These have been my favorite, and they seem to work pretty darn good, okay? Number one is you could do FAQ about X. Go look up frequently asked questions about X. If it's an e-com product, you know, maybe it's a steering wheel cover. Frequently asked questions about this steering wheel cover. Will it fit on these vehicles? Okay, it doesn't matter what it is. You can Google frequently asked questions, and those become these videos, okay, where you can show the contrast all the time of one versus the other. Next one here is my contend. So you can contend in a positive or negative way with X, okay? With X because Y, all right? So it's very simple. I seen this person talking about email automations and I agree with them and here's why. Or I seen this person talking about email automations and I disagree with them and here's why. Contrast once again, okay? So that's a great way to do things. You can simply demonstrate your product. I could get the most powerful people, the most influential people in the world to try to convince you that I can fly, like I can literally stand on the ground and go like Superman. You'd be like, I mean, these people are pretty influential. He could actually be able to fly, but people can't fly. So, you know, we have this bullshit detector. But if I was like, okay, guys, watch this. Okay, no strings, and I'm just like, and I flew off. That demonstration is what you need to understand the difference, the contrast. He can actually do the thing. So demonstration beats conversation any day of the week. You can interview people, okay, or you can be interviewed. This can go other ways too. It can go like you can interview your students, your clients, your customers. They could interview you. Other people could interview you. Any type of thing where you're going to be able to expel, share, and demonstrate, talk about, conversate about the value, any of those things. And it's from another perspective, so people will pull things out of you that they normally wouldn't. And then quality tour, I call it quality tour, and this can be micro or macro, okay? So micro, macro tour. Show me what you put in your bag before you go to the gym. Show me what you pour in your cup before you go work out, whatever it is, right? Or show me how you get prepared to do the thing. Show me how you build the thing, whatever it is. Show me the mic, that's the micro. What's the micro? The macro, give me the warehouse tour, give me the school tour, give me the office tour, give me the big perspective tour through your thing, okay? All of these things can be these videos right here. But the most beautiful and most valuable thing that you can ever do is show them, here's the one option, here's the other option, or this versus that, up versus down, here versus there, okay? So in between your email automations, as these things go out, you're setting a time, and then you're asking the question, did they do the thing, yes or no? If they did, do this. If they didn't, do this, and send out a video in the email. It's very simple. Very simple. Do not make it any more complicated than that. It's literally that. If this, then that. So it's if, then, okay? If this happens, do this, okay? That's all this is right here. And then you've got a timestamp in between it. Keep the funnel real simple. What more do you need? Look, and opt in here. Here's the thing. This is called a VSL video. This is just an overarching demonstration of where you're sharing the who, what, where, when, why, how thing of the product you're selling or the service you're offering or whatever it is that you're offering, product or service, okay? And then you're telling them that they can either set up a call or they can buy the thing. This is the checkout page, or this is the receipt page, sorry, thank you page, okay? It's very easy, very simple. Don't make it more complicated than that. So if you got questions about this, go ahead and reach out and send me a comment down below, and I'll be glad to help you out. Or you can find some links down in the description or on the page or wherever the hell you're watching this at. I'm sure there's a place for you to either comment or click a link to go somewhere and get something, okay? So, hope you found value in this. If you agree with this, hit the like button. If you want to subscribe to get more of these things, do that. If you disagree with this, explain why so I can make something better. Or if you have questions, same thing. All right, see you in the next video.